Okay, so this is video 6. Okay, so as I said, so yeah, so they took over the banking institute, thus took over America, right? And then enslaved humanity to pay back the debt, right? Now, so the barbarism recognizes barbarism. This the Ashkenazi, Khazarian, Bukranian, Nazi, Zionist, KKK, Jim Crowley, and we all know who Crowley was, right? Aleister Crowley was, right? He was the one who came up with the Satanism and all that kind of stuff, the Satanist Bible, and from which is known and it's reported to be that Barbara uh, Bushy is the daughter of Aleister Crowley. It's been reported that, right? And you can do your own research and come to your own conclusions to see, the validity in that. But if you ask anyone, she's his spitting image of Aleister Crowley, and so the Bushes were Satan. It's stated to be Satanists, okay? Is rumored to be Satanists. Rumored, right? Okay. Now, so the Jim Crowley, Zionist, Ashkenazis, Dixiecrat Rhino, Pizza Party, Corpse America recognizes itself in the Nazi Zionist occupation of the Afro-Kemetic Al-Kibulan nation of Palestine, and likewise thus supports the genocide because they are their twin, flame, right? They did the genocide. Corpse America is continuing to do the genocide, right? Like their ancestors of Republic America did to the natives, right? The so-called founding fathers did to the natives. They did genocide, right? So the natives of the founding fathers did genocide upon the Native Americans, and the Ashkenazis are doing genocide upon the Palestinians, steal their land, right? Okay. Now, those who know and accept truth shall enter the new kingdom of divine Christ consciousness, which represents Islam, which represents peace. The colonizers that occupy the Afro-Kemetic Al-Kibulan of Palestine, nation of Palestine, are the same as the Nazis that enslaved the DMT melanin Afro-Kemetic Hebrew Israelites in the West, right? So they are Hitler. They are the descendants of Hitler. Okay, the ones that occupy the Holy Land are the descendants of Hitler, right? Now, and that's their colony, like Jamestown. Okay, Nazi Israelis. I'm gonna call them Israelis because they're not Israel of the son of Jacob. They're not the sons of Jacob, nor are they the sons of Isaac, nor are they descendants of Isaac, nor are they related to myself, who is a Hebrew Israelite, a descendant of the Hebrew Israelites, a descendant of the lineage of Prophet Abraham, as was Haile Selassie, right? Okay. That's what makes a person part of a nation, ancestral nation, right? Their ancestral nation is they are related, right? So the Ashkenazis are not related to Prophet Abraham, right? Nor are they related to the Hebrew Israelites, right? So they are related to Hitler, and Hitler is the one who did that to the the Jews of Germany, right? And the Ashkenazis are also the ones who enslaved Hebrew Israelites in America, as started by the Vatican, right? The Vatican controlled what nation was able to transport Hebrew Israelites into their country as slaves. That was done by the Vatican. The Vatican controlled what nation was able to import, kidnap, and transport Hebrew Israelites into their countries as slaves. That was done by the Vatican. And now who controls it is an Ashkenazi Rothschild. And he controls those countries by way of the central banks, right? As he did in enslaved America, right? Okay. Now, so, and they are the ones that are in control, that are occupying Palestine, right? Okay. Now, the goal of the Ashkenazis, Nazi Zionists, is to re-enslave the Hebrew Israelites. They want to re-enslave the Hebrew Israelites, and the Badahai, the black American descendants of enslaved Hebrew Israelites, BLM, because black African American descendants of enslaved Hebrew Israelites, their lives matter. Our lives matter. Okay, so that's your BLM. Badahai is BLM. Badahai lives matter. Badahai lives matter. Okay, now, so they want to re-enslave the Badahai, right? And deceive the Badahai into thinking it is Bible prophecy for them. It is Bible prophecy. It is Bible prophecy for them to be re-enslaved for the second time. Although in reality, it will be the third attempt for the Ashkenazi, Ukrainian Nazi Zionists to enslave the Afro-Kemetic, Alki-Bulan Hebrew Israelites, right? Because most Hebrew Israelites may be unaware the Republic America is the Republic America in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, right, and other parts of Ohio, right, is considered Egypt. Most aren't aware of that Cincinnati, Ohio is considered, has a lot of Egyptian artifacts, right, that demonstrate that they were here prior to Columbus, because they have as with the Grand Canyon, they have a lot of artifacts, a lot of hieroglyphs written on the walls of the caves, and not so much they have artifacts, but they've found hieroglyphs written on the caves. They have the Egyptian statues. A lot of the Egyptian culture is in Ohio and in Grand Canyon. So they know that the Egyptians or the Kemetic people were here, right? Remember, Kemet and Egypt are the same place. It's in Africa, in Alki-Bulan, which is the name of Africa, which Africa means, right? Africa means sunny, horrid. Africa, Afro means sunny. Africa means horrid, right? So it means hot, super hot, so hot, okay, that it's horrid. Which, if it's horrid, how can Europeans have founded Egypt or constructed Egypt, right? They had to have hue to tolerate that, to be able to tolerate that heat, right? They had to have hue to tolerate that heat, right? Okay. Now, and that's why it was named Africa, because of the black people who were able to tolerate that horrible, that intense heat, right? And transmute it into that energy to heat up that oil, that DMT, to elevate the consciousness, right? Open up that pineal gland, open up the pineal gland and elevate the consciousness, okay? Okay, so now, as we said, so they want to enslave the Hebrew Israelites again for the third time, but because the Hebrew Israelites already went into slavery a second time, right? And they went into, and it was stated that they would go into slavery in Egypt again. And when they were brought, and they said they would be taken by ships into Egypt, right? And If they were already in Al-Kibu land, why would they need to be taking a ship? So they took the ships, those ships that were, when the enslavement of Hebrew Israelites started again, they were brought to Egypt as it relates to America, right? Okay. And most of them aren't. Most Hebrew Israelites aren't aware of that because I think it's an 18th century discovery, or it's fairly recent discovery that Egyptians were, Kemetic people were in America, or Turtle Island, right? Okay, so so just like the 2024, what is that? 2024 eclipse, American eclipse, is to occur April, Ramadan 29, 1445, April 8th, 2024, across America, going from, I think, Texas, hitting the double spot, hitting the same spot that hitting the exact same spot that the 2017 eclipse hit, and that will be in Carbondale. That will be in Little Egypt, Carbondale, Illinois. Okay, and that will be a sign, just as Moses went to, or Musa went to the Ramses and told him, "Let my people go." That will be a sign. Let my people go. That's what that eclipse means. Let my people go. Right? And where are they holding my son? Ohio. Where did the celestial grandfather's remains be placed to rest? Ohio. Right? Cincinnati, Ohio. Right? Where is my son? What is my son's ancestry? Lineage. Egypt. Kemet. Cairo, to be exact. Right? Muhammad is Egyptian. Muhammad, by way of his father, Muhammad is ancestors, has family to this day, cousins, uncles, aunts, in Cairo, Egypt. Right? Okay, now, his grandparents, Cairo, Egypt. Right? So that's why they took him there as it relates to Revelation 12 and the persecution. Okay? Now, okay, so when many Badahai, BLM, that is, say they have been here, when many Badahai say, we've been here, we didn't cross the ocean in a boat. Many of them didn't. Many of them were already here. As Kemetic, as they came long time ago, they were here. Right? They've been here on Turtle Island. So when they say they've been here, believe them, because many Afro-Kemetic nations were here prior to those ships that brought Hebrew Israelites to be enslaved on Republic America, the so-called Republic America, right? Which was the Ashkenazi Republic America, for Zionist Republic America, until they could fulfill the other part, and that is wait for their Antichrist to come, or the red dragon to fall, and to take over the Holy Land, and thus take over all of Africa. As Jamestown was a colony, so too is this Ashkenazi a colony in the Holy Land to take over all of Africa, and thus the world. Okay, now, the DMT melanin richly black Afro-Kemetic Hebrew Israelites, which Israelite is another name for Osiris. It's just the alphabets are arranged differently, but it's the same thing. Israelites and Osiris, Israel and Osiris are the same name. Israel and Osiris are the same name. So how can, which proves that, Alkebulan Afro-Kemetic people are the true Hebrew. That proves the true Hebrew Israelites were Afro-Kemetic of Alkebulan, right? If Israel means Osiris, and Isis, and Horus, and Jerusalem means Horus, right? Means time, as it relates to, right? Saturn being the timekeeper, as it relates to the 3 steps, right? As it relates to the Saturn return, right? As it relates to also Judaism, Christianity, Islam, as it relates to the cardinal plane, the fixed plane, and the mutable plane, right? The big 3 steps. As you grow in your spirituality, you take bigger steps, right? You take bigger steps. It's not just one step at a time. Now you're just jumping through the celestial sphere because you're consciously a giant. Now you know how to navigate, right? Because now you're in your celestial body. You're no longer in the body, the mind of the 5 senses. You're no longer in the mind of the planetary body. Now you're in the mind of the celestial body, and that's one of the biggest body, right? Until you get to the universal body and you see things as a whole, right? Okay. Now, so as we said, the DMT, melanin-enriched black Afro-Kemetic Hebrew Israelites, or Osiris, right? Because Osiris means Israel, or were retaken into Kemet, okay? And as we said, Kemet represents Israel. Kemet represents Israel, as Osiris represents Kemet. Kemet represents Israel, as Israel represents Osiris, right? Okay, so we're going to go to video 7.